And 3, 2, 1, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Amal, and joining me tonight I have George and Andy, and we are the Monday Blues, proudly brought to you by Globalnet Solutions Australia, Mercadante, Woodfire, Pizzeria, Elite Plastering Group, Kami Projects, Zak Nasser from YPA, RAZ Homes, the Bottle at Pascaval, and Damo Finance. And we are here bringing you the mid-season review and a Q&A towards the end of towards the second half of the show. And we'll get straight into it, boys. George, Andy, how are we doing?
Good, man. It was nice to have a bit of emotional stability, I guess, on the weekend. Let's call that.
It was.
Not have to have a bit of a roller coaster. Still snuck up on me, though. She went to hobby hangout yesterday for anyone who's also in the, who's a bit of a junkie for cardboard, as am I. And caught Weeders, Akers, and Kemp there. So fellow nerds, fellow card nerds. Yeah, nice to see him.
Do you have a chat?
Kemp in his moon boot. Weeders, Weeders was very nice. We got a pic, as I do. The harassed the bloke. Nah, so he saw the Carlton hoodie. As Akers saw it, he's like, nice jumper, mate. Weeders sort of looked like, oh, fuck. It's a day off. It's our day off. It's our day off. But no, they were just, looking at all things cards, which was good fun at the exhibition building. It was good all in all. Andy, how's your weekend? I received some interesting voice notes from you on WhatsApp.
My weekend was fun, actually. I worked Saturday, which was all right. But yesterday, the missus and I went on a winery tour. So we visited, I think it was 3 wineries. And yes, you did receive some interesting voice notes. I was pretty smashed after the first one, to be quite honest. I'm not a huge wine drinker myself, but when I went there, with each winery I'd go to, I'd tell them I had my own bottle shop and I may be interested in stocking their wine, and they'd always just pour me a little bit more. Got a few freebies, which was nice. And stayed at Crown last night, which is always fun. So I had a great weekend. There's no footy to stress about, which is, we needed it. I needed it. Like, I needed that circuit breaker. So, yeah. Amar, how was yours? Nice.
You're on mute. I feel like I'm at work on Zoom. You're on mute.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not bad. We had footy on Saturday. We lost, I'm afraid. However, it was a much tighter game. The team that we played was really, really well drilled, but we turned it into a scrap, which was good. We ended up losing by, I think, 2 goals, which is much better margin than what we're used to. So happy with that. Had my cousin come down and watch, and another family friend as well, which was pretty cool. I did get a snap of me out in the field. I don't exactly know what I'm doing in this photo. I'm either stretching or trying to rip a fart. One of them. I don't know.
Amal loves a fart joke. He just loves a fart joke.
I don't know what's happening there, but
so hard to tell.
It's not even 10 o'clock yet.
I almost said it. I almost said it. Jesus. Nicky G. Hi, boys in blue. You almost got me, mate. Thank you for the donation. And very nice try.
Fantastic.
Very good.
Shout out to everybody in the chat.
Absolutely.
The chat's going off. The chat has been going off already. Our chat is my favorite. I watch quite a bit of content, and I don't care what anybody says. Our chat is the best.
Yeah,
they go off, and we let them say whatever they want. So go hard.
There's 90 of you guys actually. There's a fair look. To be honest, we probably didn't expect that many come on live, considering that there's no review. But yeah, hit the like button if you're new. Hit the subscription. Really appreciate you all.
Enzo, What league am I playing? Yes, it is the EDFL. The EDFL? No, SN.
I was going to say.
That's our league.
No. SFNL. SFNL is the league that we're playing.
Okay. I was going to say, man, EDFL's outside.
Yeah, so I don't know why I thought of that.
Anyway, quietly moved over. He moved to the north.
SFNL. And then on Sunday, played golf at Cape Shank, which was freaking freezing in the morning. But it started to warm up towards the latter part of the morning. So it was good. Good weekend away from footy. Although, having said that, I haven't really been to the footy. I haven't watched Carlton play since Sydney. So it's been a couple of weeks. And you know what? Even this week, I'm kind of umming and ahhing on whether I go and watch the rabble of a club that we are at the moment. So, yeah, let's see how we go. In Carlton news, we've the Carlton Football Club has opened up their imaging centre.
I was saying that.
You may or may not have heard. Obviously, Graham Wright walked through, one of the first people to go through the new facilities, along with some of the other key members, board members and all that kind of stuff. First patient was Zach Williams, apparently, followed closely by Jack Martin. That was part of his deal from a couple of years ago. Of all the things, fucking imaging centre at the club, because that's
him and Marchbank and Cunningham would be like, "Where was this? Where was this the last few years, guys? Come on."
I know, right?
We funded it. On local footy, I just had a thought, and this was a thing. This was a thing a few years ago. I'm pretty sure. I saw it about 10 years ago, but I think it was called Fat and Unfit Football League, FOFL. And I'll join if it's still a thing. Let me know if it's still a thing. But it was called Fat and Unfit Football League. It was a bit of a joke league just for over 30s and stuff like that, where C or D grade or whatnot. But if that's a thing, let us know. The groin is healed. The Achilles is okay. We'll strap in, get back on the ground.
Div 12 Resis, I think it's called.
That's
whatever it is.
Quite a bit of media on that one.
So the imaging centre is now open. They expect that to bring in quite a bit of revenue for the club. It's open to the public alongside, obviously, its own private use for the footballers and the club itself. So pretty cool. Pretty cool. There was another news article piece around. It was on Channel 10. I saw it pop up on Facebook. It's circulating in the Facebook group chats, Facebook groups, the Carlton Facebook groups. Carlton have worked it out. They've come to the conclusion that the first half, the biggest problem of the first half of the season for Carlton was their forward connection, is what McGovern said in his press conference with in the lead up to the Essendon game. So let's see what fruits that bears. Forward connection is the problem. It took you half a fucking season to work it out, man. Fire throws. It pisses me off. Let's see. I was void of this stress and anxiety for the last 2 weeks, and here we are once again. We haven't even started playing yet.
Well, we'll cover a bit of that tonight for sure. There's a few of those themed questions. But on the weekend, actually, just a really quick shout out to the Jumper Punch boys, because that was a mammoth effort. Like a 24-hour stream. What they start Saturday, 12:30.
12:30.
And Andy, you made your way there quite late on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was there from about 11, I think, thereabouts, 11:30, something like that. I was there for a couple of hours.
You were there at 1. You were there at 1 because I was in bed and I was setting chats through. Yeah. I'm thinking I was falling asleep, and then woke up, was making breakfast, 8 a.m. on the Sunday, and then I logged in. Rocco's slumped on the couch, and I'm like, these guys are still going. I was like, you know what? That's a mammoth effort. Because their show already, like a 4-hour show, is at very strong length in general already. But to go and times that by 6 and go 24 hours is well done to the boys. Hats off. If I had a cat around, I'd tip it off to you blokes. But probably picked also what is one of the greatest nights of the year to do it. You obviously had footy throughout the day, F1, Champions League final. So it was, what a night to do it. So a lot of our chat was in their chat as well. Great to see some familiar names, but yeah, mammoth effort. Well done.
Not much of a fight in the Champions League final, with PSG going up 5-0 against Inter Milan. It was a bit disappointing. It was a bit of a anticlimactic finish to the Champions League.
Put them to the sword. Absolutely put them to the sword. They did. Oh, we've lost Andy. I thought he looked frozen there for a bit. So
looks like he's had a computer reset. He should be back on momentarily. George, do you watch the Formula One?
I don't. I do not, unfortunately. But Piastri, I think he's taken it, has he?
He is lying. Now, I didn't like Piastri coming into the Formula One just because he was going to be taking Ricciardo's spot. But this year, he's proven that he's not just talented. Like, this guy could very well win the championship this year. It's freakish how good he is. And to add to that, like, McLaren have built a serious rocket ship in that McLaren this year. And yeah, he's a class above Norris at the moment. He's just got this edge over Norris, which is really, really good to see. And Verstappen's fallen behind the car. Red Bull have not been able to give him the car that he needs, and he's losing it, man. If you saw what Verstappen did in the third last lap today or this morning, it was pretty bad. Surprised he didn't get disqualified from the whole race, or at least for the next one for what he did. Caused the crash. Caused the crash. Literally caused the crash. It's lucky that George Russell didn't get like a bad enough collision.
Sorry, lads.
Hello.
He's back. A quick shout out here. We got a donation from Jessica Motlop here. Hi Andy, you cutie. Show me your skills, and he just disappeared. So he said that was
took a page out of Jesse Motlop's book.
And that was completely not intentional. Show me your skills. His magic act. He's just disappeared.
Jessica Motlop.
That's actually, thanks, Jess.
She's a bit of a cutie.
J Mots. Yeah. How about that mop? There you go. Welcome back.
Thanks, mate.
So a good weekend overall. It's a bit like, honestly, it was like you said, Dan. It was the perfect circuit breaker. I think we all needed it. Fan base needed it, and even still, AFL media was thriving on Carlton headlines. Who should be traded, who should go, who's coming, who's going. So I guess we still get the headlines. We still appear here and there, but it was nice to just be able to switch off on the weekend and watch footy without having a upcoming expectation or disappointment or anything like that. Oz, good to see you in the chat as well. Oz, I have for you. I don't know if you're coming to the game on Sunday night, but I all my spares, all my commons. It's got your name on it too in the top hand there. Got your box chock full of all the. It's probably the whole set. You'll probably have the whole set after this.
Get in trouble for saying that in an office.
Saying what?
What'd you get? What have you got?
The whole set. What did I say? The whole set. The box. Got your box. Calm down. So I was hit us up on our IG at the Monday Blues on Instagram. We'll tee up a time to if you come into the game on Sunday, I'll bring it with me, or I'll catch you at one of the other games.
Very good, Enzo. Very good.
Enzo.
Shall we get stuck into it?
Let's get it started.
Yeah. So, a few questions that we're going to rip through. And we encourage as always. We've got the greatest chat. Encourage your opinion as well. We're going to talk through them. So, let's get stuck in. Have it down the bottom there. How does Carlton's current ladder position compare to pre-season expectations, especially after last year's finals appearance? Well, that was almost. Well, we didn't get there by merit in the end, but Marlon, want to kick it off?
Sure. Pre-season expectations for me, I had Carlton sitting at 6 to 10. Towards the end of the season, by the end of the home and away season. So for them to be sitting at 13 at the moment, I think it's obviously the result of them falling over very, very early. I still think they finish within 6 to 10. I reckon they'll fix up a few things now coming off the back of the bye. But certainly below where I would have expected them to be at this stage of the season. I would have thought that we would have been in the 8 coming into the mid-season bye. Maybe not up then, maybe not top 4, but definitely in the 8, not at 13. And again, losing 4 in a row to start your season is not the way you want to start it. So definitely not where I expected us to be. Although realistically, 3 spots below 10th, which is where I expect them to finish at the end of the season. At the lower end of it, at least, anyway.
I was kind of conflicted because I did a ladder predictor and I had us finishing 13th on the ladder this year. And that was me being quite obviously conservative with the tight games. And so I mean, if we look at that, I shouldn't say I'm surprised because I did kind of expect to finish, this kind of low, and it is halfway through the year. But I also said, look, we could go the other way and win the flag. It was going to be that kind of year, right? So then I thought, you know what, we'll be positive and we will tip that. But I think we're doing a lot worse than I expected. Like I knew we weren't quite there, but I didn't think we'd be this bad still. Like Amal said earlier, it's the same. We're in the same boat we were in a couple of years ago, and the year before. So yeah, it's pre-season expectations weren't high, but I feel like ladder position, you can kind of see there's an argument for two things. You can say the ladder position flatters us, and then you could turn around and say, well, the ladder position doesn't really tell us how bad we've been. So it depends what outlook you want to have. Yeah, I don't know. I just think I think the ladder, because we've been in games. We have been in games for most of the games, but it's our finishing that's killed us. So are we deserving of being this low? I mean, the ladder doesn't lie. You are where you are. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a lot worse than what I expected. Georgie?
Yeah, like I said, it is obviously halfway through the season, but I think before the Richmond game where we had our pre-season, our season preview, fairly certain I had us like 5th to 8th, but I actually was pretty confident that we could nail a spot like 5th or 6th from memory. Because I remember we were having the conversation and we were geeing each other up, tough 4, but a lot of people were writing us off. But I thought with the combination of, a more injury, I guess a more injury, a friendly year on the injury front, players getting their bodies right, considering that last year we were doing really well, I think in the top 4, and then obviously we got decimated. Plus, another year into the youngsters, plus, an easy draw. Don't know if there is such thing, but we were looked after that like quite significantly now. I mean, it's easy to say, we had an easy draw, but now you look at a lot of the shocks that are happening week in, week out. Very rarely does anyone sort of tip, all of them right at the anymore. But we were still gifted quite a few easy games. But then you look at, like you said, Andy, the ladder position, and is it a bit of a false economy? But who have we beaten? We've beaten Kangas, we've beaten West Coast, we've beaten Saints. Who to be honest, Saints equally with us. You just can't trust. You can't trust Saints, and you can't trust us.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Form, expectation, all that stuff before the game, odds. You just can't trust Saints or us. Like we'll get a scalp. They'll get, a scalp or two every few weeks, but then they'll lose the unlosable, as we did in round 1. So yeah, like lower than expected. I would have thought we were being around the sort of the outskirts of the 8 or just in the 8. Having seen who we had to play, I think a lot of us had, I think 99.9% of the population at Carlton to beat Richmond. And then you think, okay, we can take on the Doggies. The Hawks one and the Collingwood one was a 50-50. The Adelaide one, we always piss that away. Then you look at games coming up against beat the Saints. Then there's the Swans one. You think, is this the year? We thought it was going to be the year. And just who we lose to recently? I've gone blank now. Who was the last loss?
GWS.
GWS, that's the one. I think, again, at Marvel, we got a half decent record recently in recent times against them. But
see what Richmond did to them for 3 quarters.
Yep. And what happened to Sydney, and you think, a lot of that just raises more questions,
concerns.
Yeah, absolutely.
We made GWS look like an elite team right now, and they're just not an elite team. They had a great last quarter, but Richmond were putting it over them for 3 quarters. And to be fair, Richmond put it over us for 3 quarters. So, yeah.
Enzo says here, we enter our forward 50 more than the opposition in most occasions, but don't know how to score. We are not efficient in front of goals. That's assuming that we actually create a set shot with every forward 50 entry. We don't. I'd love to know what the number, the difference is between forward 50 entries to genuine scoring shots. Whether it's a set shot.
We're 17th. We're 17th in the league.
There you go.
Yeah. So we are 17th in the league from halfback to scoring. So we're apparently our transition is okay. It's just scoring from that transition. We're 17th.
I've been saying
17th for rebound 50s to score, 18th for disposal efficiency, and then 18th for shot at goal accuracy.
Yeah.
Not goal accuracy, just general shot at goal accuracy.
Yeah.
So there's glaring problems. Sorry, Himal, glaring.
Yeah. Pretty much what you were going to say, right? What that says is that defense to midfield, fine. Midfield to forward, no fucking idea. And then when it gets in there, our forwards, no fucking idea. They don't know what they're doing.
So it's that last kick, in, and then when you do actually get the shot,
and then what do you do from there? Yeah. Sydney was the perfect example. In the first quarter, we dominated. Sydney didn't know what the hell to do with the footy. Didn't know what the hell to do. Just period. We got it into the forward 50 so many times, and we were only leading by 1 goal at the end of it.
But that's a Carlton trademark. We
Absolutely.
dominate and dominate and dominate. Mate, against GWS, that first quarter, we killed it. But then you look up at the scoreboard, and it never really got past, 2 goals.
Yep, it's never there.
And it's like, why can't we we've been over this 100 times, man. I think it's both player and coach. I think they're both at fault here. It's just a matter of who's going to kind of go first. Do we wait to the end of the year to make player changes? Or do we wait till after the Essendon game? If we lose to Essendon, Voss has to go. Has to, for me. If we lose to Essendon, Voss has to go. And it's people will say, it's unfair. It might be, we can't sack a coach. Who's going to come in? We've done this before. Just because we've done it before and it hasn't worked doesn't mean you persist with someone who can't get the job done. I stand by what I've said. Voss should have been sacked at quarter time of that semi-final last year. For me, sack him. Don't even let him finish the game. Fuck him off. For me, that was everything I needed to see.
Whilst you're on that, Andy, because we just had touched on it, that was another question we're going to ask. I might as well ask it now since we've already opened up the topic, and we'll come back to question 2. Is Michael Voss getting the best out of the playing group, or are there signs his game plan is being figured out by opposition teams, or potentially not being reciprocated on the field by the players?
Our game plan was figured out early 2024, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Why is it that it's taken you until mid-season 2025 for you as a football club, as a coaching group, as a football department to pick up that where we're lacking is forward connection and scoring efficiency? Media pundits, right, just your general supporter base. You and I have been saying this all season. We suck going into forward 50, and we do not create enough scoring shots from those forward 50s. And when we do somehow get a scoring shot, we butcher the shit out of it. Why is it that it's taken you until mid-season 2025 for you to finally come out and say this?
Good call.
And it's not. You're probably right, Andy. I reckon straight out, if we lose against Essendon, you've come out to the media and you said that we know what our problem is and we're going to fix it. If you guys are a professional football club, show some sort of change. And if you don't and you lose to Essendon in the same style and fashion, then unfortunately, I agree. Voss has to go. And so does the rest of the coaching group.
For me, it's like, the argument is always going to be, and I've made this argument too, that Voss can't be out there and, kicking the ball for the players, and their skills are deplorable, right? Like we've all said it. It's probably the worst in the fucking league. These players can't hit a 20-meter pass. They're missing handballs, hospital passes. Like they're making everything so hard. But we are almost coached into that position. Like for me, it's like, all right, you've built a team, or you've built your game plan around contested ball. Well, contested ball is very, very tiring. And players will never maintain a high level of skill anyway if their bodies are physically tired, and teams are exposing that. We're watching us lose every single week to the same like anti-game plan. Right? The teams are beating us because they know. I'm telling you now, 9 out of 10 people who are watching the game, we are so predictable. You just plug up the midfield, plug up the corridor. We're going to have to go wide. We're not good enough to go down the line and to make it work. So as soon as we turn over the ball, they spread. We can't run. Game over. Goal. And that's how it is, play after play after play. We work so hard for scores. And to me, that is 100% coach driven. It's not the players choosing, let's not listen to the game plan. It can't be. I asked this question last year. Are the players just the dumbest players ever? Are we only recruiting dumb players? Or is this directive? Is it directive to bomb long? Is it directive to go wide? I feel like it's either directive or a lack of directive. Either way, for me, it comes from the coach's box because we have no plan B. And plan A is far too chaotic. So much has to go right for us to score. So
I feel like we were speaking about these things in the Teague era. If you recall, like these have been problems for a long time. So, I feel like with Graham Wright coming in, and we know his history with how low he's, I guess he preferred Voss allegedly for the Pies gig. You either back him because you don't have the funds to pay him out, possibly as well. Is it going to start? I mean, I'm not privy to all the soft cap rules and things like that as well. But at the end of the day, let's be real. If clubs want to do something, they'll get something done somehow, somewhere. You either get him out, you've got someone in mind or you get everyone else around him out and you bring established winners in, or people or that you've worked with, or worked at footy clubs with you with. So, because we all heard about, he needs support around him. He needs support around him. I sometimes ask myself why. is it smart to delegate that much responsibility to your line coaches? Is that, again, I'm not privy to say the setup of all the really successful teams. Has for example, McRae, who he's got, like Leppich is a serial winner, right? Justin Leppich at Collingwood. Pretty sure he was at the Tigers for their 3 premierships, if my memory serves me
I feel like he was.
Again, does he command a lot of responsibility, for example? And he's got Bolton there, I think, as well. And do you delegate that much responsibility across the lines? Then you might have to get a few of those sort of names in and give them that responsibility.
Yeah. I think both parties have to take accountability, and I think they will. I think the coaching staff, whether it's Voss, whether it's the people around him, there will be change. There has to be change, and I think there has to be change within the playing group, and I think that's inevitable too, with TDK probably leaving. Like, I think that's 99% done. Right? He hasn't signed yet. They're not. Well, once he hits this time of year, it's pretty much a certainty that he's going. There's a lot of talk of Walsh, being floated around. I'm hearing that Charlie Curnow bought a house in New South Wales. Take that for what you want. There's rumours that Sydney are going hard for him. There's rumours that Brisbane are going hard for him. So, yeah, I don't know. I think it's important that both parties are held accountable for me. The players cannot get away with this. Again, they can't. But neither can the coaching staff. So,
yeah. Well, this core group has been responsible for a few different coaches now, I guess, getting the flick potentially. So, interesting one. But big shout out, firstly, Oz. Thank you as always for the donation, sir. Hey guys, I'll be at Carlton versus Essendon match this Sunday at the MCG. Door 4, Gate 4 is where I will be. I think we're probably going to be Gate 4 as well.
Is it our home game?
Yes. So yeah, we'll be Gate 4. Definitely see you there. As said, got your box here, Oz. I will bring it with me on Sunday. My brother's been a troll in the chat for a while here. Come to Collingwood, boys. I've never been happier. He was carrying on yesterday about being a Pies fan, mate. Settle down.
It's disgusting.
You'll be there with your blue scarf on Sunday, and don't speak this blasphemy in the chat. All right,
Collingwood. Tell you what, mate. I'd rather put a cactus.
I'd
rather stick a cactus in the front end than fucking go for Collingwood. Imagine going for that filth by choice. Like, imagine going for Collingwood. I feel yuck saying that word.
It's
just absolute scumbags go for Collingwood. Just the bottom of the barrel filth they are. Just disgusting. Parasites. Just I can keep going. Just you better cut me off because I'll just keep going. Just rats, dirty mice. That's what they are. Just rodents.
Yeah, Miles Day, he dozing.
Yeah.
All right, we go to the next one. Hold on. Have injuries or fitness issues played a significant role in our struggles this season, or are deeper structural issues to blame? I touched on it earlier. You look at the run that we had yesterday. You look at the run we had last year with bad injuries. A few players have got their bodies right. Like Chera's mostly got in the park pretty well. Motlop hasn't missed the first 12 weeks of the season. You've got a few of the usual suspects who have gone down recently as well. So I think who was Zach Williams has missed a bit. Jack's unfortunately missed a couple of weeks. But then we've also had, I feel like, a lot of off-field interruptions as well. So you talk about injuries or fitness issues, but then you look at Harry missing a few weeks, Lige missing a few weeks, and now missing again, most likely a few weeks. And we were decimated. I don't think our back lines recovered from Nick Newman. going down, because you've lost not only the leadership, but you've also lost that reliable kick outside 50. You've lost, a really good lockdown defender. Shout out Georgie.
Georgie.
Yeah.
We are cooked, boys. I'll tell you what, Georgie. we have had a couple of chats. George and I are on the same page. We are just hating the Carlton Football Club at the moment. So on you, Georgie. Appreciate your time, mate.
Thank you, Georgie. I do enjoy a Georgie voice note. Poor bloke, they've broken him.
It's bad when he's sending voice notes in the group.
When George is sending audio clips in their group chat. Love you, mate.
Bro, we can't blame injuries this year. We can't.
No, absolutely. I don't think we can at all. I was going to say the Nick Newman one decimated us. I personally think the Jagger one hurts us more than we know. And it's easy to say because he hasn't played a game, right? But I think the club was hell-bent on getting this kid. And the midfield was reliant on him playing, right? So really good two-way runner, great disposer of the ball. And I think that they were so reliant to put this guy in the midfield, which is why now you're seeing Jesse run through a few times, moving the magnets or whatnot. I think we really, really went full pelt just to get him in there for a reason. So, I'm keen to see how it goes actually next year when we do have him, because the club will say, well, this was the original plan. This was the midfield look that we had. And we'll touch more on that soon. But yeah, I'm with you, Andy. I don't think you really can blame injuries, considering we've relatively had a okay year. It's just some of the off-field stuff has disrupted the season for some of our key players.
Yeah. I think we're the only club, and I said this last week, we're the only team where if a player gets injured, our entire structure's cooked. We're gone. That's it. Pack it up. JSOS goes down, we don't know how to defend all of a sudden. When Harry doesn't play, we can't win. Can't win without Harry. Charlie doesn't play. Oh, God forbid. It's all good. We got imaging at that club. That's right. Georgie. Yeah, I don't know. I think we're so cooked as a football team right now. And we're so fragile, mentally, physically. So yeah, I think injuries haven't really played a part, and I won't cop that as an excuse for this year. I just won't. Amal?
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I don't think injuries are to blame. But look, you can't take away that losing Newman, who's one of our better kicks in the team, hurts. Losing Jagger Smith, who was widely touted as the number one pick of the draft for a number of reasons, hurts. All of these have some sort of effect on us. I think more so what's hurt us, what's played a more significant role in Carlton's struggles is how we managed our list in the off season. What I'm talking about is moving Kennedy on. Why did we do that? Was it a salary cap squeeze issue? Was it something deeper than that, something more personal than that? Who knows? Was it because of the fact that he got subbed in the second quarter? We don't know. We never know. Publicly, they'll say that everything's fine. But you've moved him out, and all of a sudden, our midfield looks slower and weaker and less stronger than what it did when we had Kennedy there. We moved him on because officially the story is that, we couldn't offer him the midfield minutes that he was after. But now we've got Motlop running through the midfield from time to time. How is that any better for the team, right? Cripps was our one wood in every single stoppage around the ground. We've moved him. He's spending a lot of time up forward now. He's getting a couple of goals out of it, but he's spending more time up in the forward line. TDK, another one who's a $1.7 million ruck. Why is he? Why do we have Cripps going up in the ruck? Why do we have Harry Mackay going up in the ruck? It's just it doesn't seem to me that this coaching group is utilizing the players to the best of their strengths and their abilities. They're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, and it's doing my head in. Doherty's a prime example, right? The guy has been through so much shit in his career, so much shit, and it's inspirational to see that, just the fact that he's still playing footy at AFL level is inspirational in itself. Why are we trying to make him a winger at the start of the season? Why are we trying to put him on the wing and not playing him to his strength off the halfback, especially when we've lost Newman? Nothing about this year has made sense to me as a supporter, and I know nothing about footy. Nothing. All I know is if you want to get the best out of your people, let them play to their strengths. Cripps in the midfield, TDK in the ruck, Harry and Charlie as full-time key forwards, Motlop as a small forward, not up in the ruck. None of the way that we have played has made sense. Sard is another one. Like I feel like Sard's still got so much speed and line breaking ability to give us. He's done none of it this year. Don't tell me that Sard doesn't want to do it or doesn't have the ability to do it anymore. That's all coaching.
I think with Sard, his issue is he runs sideways a lot. I don't know if that's directive. I don't know, but when he runs straight, something great happens almost all the time.
Yeah.
But he's got this habit of running sideways, which I think, and he hasn't been the same since he done his hammy last year.
Yeah.
You guys noticed he doesn't even, very rarely does he really put his boot into the ball anymore. I don't know if he's, carrying a niggle in that hammy still, but he just hasn't been the same since that injury.
And he's been booting the ball off the ground, not picking it up as much. So that's where I thought is that lost a bit of confidence there in the legs. And this sideways running, there's sometimes during the game where it's like he gets the ball and it's like there's no plan. There is absolutely no plan to what he's about to do next. And he'll just hoof it on the left, and we get the woof out. Yeah. Dos, I'm saying there's a couple of comments there that is likely to get you banned on this channel. I'll tell you what.
Saw his last one.
But in answer,
thank you, Oz, for the donation as well, Oz.
Thank you, Oz.
On yours. The answer to that question is fitness issues and injuries and stuff. Yes, but more so, I think what we did in the off season hurt us more than anything.
How do you guys like on positional changes? I don't know if it's one of the questions, to be honest. If it isn't, there's a move we made this year, and I'm interested to get your take on it. And same with everybody in the chat. Hit the like button, guys, if you haven't already. How do you guys feel about Ollie Hollands being moved from the wing to the defense?
That's another one.
There is a question on that. We will touch on your question, Andy. I'll shout out Oz. Feels like we peaked after the 2023 season. Injuries cost us a top 4 spot in 2024. And this year we have structural issues and injuries combined. So if we'll touch on the structural issues, thank you again, Oz. So, Andy, your call was moving Ollie from the wing to halfback.
How do you guys see that move? Has it benefited the team? Has it benefited Ollie? And do you think it has been a success so far?
I like him as a winger. I prefer him as a winger. I feel like it plays to his strengths. Utilizes his elite running more. He's improved facets of his game. Absolutely. Improved a lot of defensive facets of his game. The taking forever to dispose of the footy, something like that needs a definite improvement. But I feel like, again, you're trying to find a replacement for Nick Newman. Is Ollie that guy? I don't think so, right? They're two different players.
I feel like there's another player that could have done it. Fucking Doherty.
Are they? Do you think they're trying to replace Doherty? So train him up and add something to his cap, maybe.
Why don't you just get another halfbacker?
Well, exactly. I don't like it personally.
Yeah.
I think it's almost been detrimental to his development.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think
100%.
he's our speed. He's our playmaker. You know what I mean? So in a team that's like screaming out for someone to take the game on, he does that. But we're just playing him in the wrong position, and I don't think we're seeing the best of Ollie Hollands.
Yep.
And I truly,
right
I love Ollie, right? And I think he is potentially going to be, in contention to be our captain one day. That's how much I like Ollie Hollands. I think the things he does on the ground, there's nobody else in our team who puts in effort like that. Nobody. And I say nobody covers as much ground as him as far as getting from contest to contest. You know, we see it every week when we go, and he's not the cleanest with the ball. And, you know, there are things. He's in his second or third year, whatever it is. So, third year. So that'll come. But I feel like this season he's matured a lot. He has matured a lot. But I feel like we're taking away his main weapon. You know, and that's his playmaking ability. I think making him super accountable in the defense has maybe taken away that threat that he possesses. So, yeah, for me, it's a no.
It's a good point. He's going to start thinking more defensively minded about what he does out there. Is that going to be good for a winger or bad? Who knows? We'll find out when they move him back to the wing. But we've taken, Hollands back to halfback. We've taken away his strength, which is playing on the wing. And at the same time, we've taken away Doherty's strength, which is playing off halfback, and put him onto the wing. Now we've got two liabilities. Potential liabilities. This is what I mean. It's like, why aren't we trying to make it as easy as possible for our playing group? Why are we trying to make it so difficult?
And that's playing to the strengths. You look at Ollie when he came on as a sub against Melbourne in that semi-final, just the impact he made in his natural position. Huge. Chase down tackling, getting the ball forward, two-way running. And I'll share Kadir's comment actually here on your Kadir. Club once loaded with halfbackers. We turned Hollands to a defender. No Chincotta, no Boyd, no Newman, no Doc. Team selection and coaching is cooked. Well, yeah, obviously Chincotta had had a couple of injury concerns, but he played a fantastic lockdown role for us last year. Boyd, there's been a lot of discussion about him. Yeah, for a period of time, he was. There was that 5 or 6 week period. They were saying, is he the best lockdown player in the game?
Remember when he locked down Tom Stewart in that Geelong win?
Yep.
Tom Stewart, Zach Merritt, Bobby Hill. Didn't he go on? Was it Butters or Rosie? Like he was doing a fantastic job for a good 5 or 6 week stretch.
Shout out Naz, Mr. Globalnet himself. Running man Cottrell coming back soon, Andy. Runs 20 kilometers a game for 3 possessions. That's the Matty Cottrell special, that one. Love you, Naz.
So that's true. He's not wrong. But I will say he's uplifted a little bit of his output this year. Cotters with his inside 50s he's probably been one of our best inside 50 kicks, to be honest with you, which is wouldn't really have thought it. Cotters.
Yeah.
Might go to the next question. I know, Andy, you've been very vocal about this one. Why is Carlton's midfield, on paper, one of the strongest in the league, struggle to consistently dominate games? Now, Andy, you're pretty vocal about this in pre-season.
Mm-hmm. I don't think our midfield is that good. Yes, Paddy Cripps, superstar, 2 Brownlows, absolutely. Sam Walsh, he's not setting the world on fire. He's not even lighting a match at the moment. we weren't like I was talking about this at the start of the year, we didn't know that George Hewitt would have the season he's had, and mind you, he's dropped off the last few weeks.
100%.
Which I don't expect George Hewitt to be our best midfielder. And if George Hewitt's our best midfielder, then that speaks volumes on the guys on $1 million. And then, you got Adam Chera. And that's it. We don't really have talent running through that midfield. So when one of them isn't in, we played Jesse Motlop in the midfield, bro. Like Jesse Motlop has had midfield minutes. Bubba Hollands, when he's not on the bags, he's in the midfield sometimes. Harry Mackay's in the ruck sometimes. Patrick Cripps in the ruck sometimes. Our midfield isn't great. It's good at best. At our best, it's good. But it's not great for me, and it's nowhere near the best in the league for me. So to answer the question, why we struggled, it's because we're just not good enough. Simple for me. We're just not good enough. TDK on his day is good. Not 1.7 good. I'm a big fan, but you know what? Off you go, bro. We just have to replace him. We have to get a good ruckman in. We can't not have a decent ruckman. Piternet's a liability. So, what's his name? Hudson O'Keefe in the Rezzies. Maybe just play him for the rest of the year. Maybe just, play him, rest him in the forward line or down back somewhere. I don't know. But get ready to replace TDK. So, yeah, I just don't think midfield's any good. Good at best, but generally, we're all right. Just no depth. Zero depth whatsoever.
Our midfield is speed-wise very, very one-dimensional. There's no speed in it. Mm-hmm. Our players are all very, very similar players. Cripps, Hewitt, Walsh, and Chera aren't necessarily quick. Their kicking has been shocking. Who in our midfield has the ability to break out of a pack? Who in our midfield is able to get it from the inside to the outside and break away from a stoppage? Who?
Jagger Smith. Probably that's what they're banking on. You're not only a one-dimensional speed, I think it's also a one-way runner, right? So I think this is, like I said, I think the club's banked on having Jagger in the midfield to be that point of difference. And to be honest, I know it was a very small sample size the preseason, but he was wowing. He was like, wow, there's something a bit different, right? He was demanding the footy in some of those scratch matches and in the preseason hitouts, right? So you could see that they were really banking on that point of difference. Again, easy to say that. We actually haven't seen him out in AFL field, so that'll be revealed hopefully next year. So, yeah, and I think absolutely, you look at it on paper, wow, Walsh, Chera, Cripps, but when you factor in, contested, and some games we get belted at contested, and then you factor in disposal inside 50 being shoddy, absolutely, 17th or 18th in the league. Scoring from midfield. I mean, you look at Cripps has got 10 goals, but even I'm not having a shot just midfielders here. Our second, who's second on our goal kicking tally, guys? Do you know who's second at the moment? Joint with Cripps on 10.
I'm gonna say, is it Lewis Young?
No. Another whipping boy. Think of another whipping boy.
Not Kemp?
No.
Not Lord.
No.
Nah, Lords. No, I don't even know.
It'd be Durden.
Corey Durden second on our goal kicking halfway through the year, right? And credit to him, he's been serviceable when he's come in. But
hang on, halfway through the year, second highest goal kicker is on 10.
10, equal with Cripps. 10. Now this is where, for me, that's a glaring scoring issue, right? I think Kerno's got, 23, 24 goals. Second is usually you'd see Harry lagging just a little bit behind Kerno in recent years, right? So you look at Durden on 10, Cripps on 10.
Oh, my God.
At this point of the year, like I'm not having a shot at individuals, but at this point of the year, your second highest goal kicker has got to be at the 20 mark or very close to it, right? Because you look at like in recent years, Kerno has a bit of a breakaway, and then Harry's trailing him, or vice versa. So yeah, like I said, Kerno 23, 24 goals, I think he was, and you got 10 for Durds and Cripps. So scoring from midfield is another one where look at some of the best and strongest midfield. I look at the I love watching the doggies mids, right? I absolutely love watching them play because Kennedy's having obviously his best year ever. Bont, for me personally, is the best player in the AFL. Like I love him as a captain, as a player, as someone who can pick up the game, and he can just go forward and kick 2 or 3 goals. He can do it from midfield. Doesn't even have to go forward. Libba, Treloar, like you look at the firepower. Richards, the firepower they've got in their midfield. I'm not even going to touch on Collingwood, the scum. Again, look what they can do. So when you look at our midfield, and I think one of those things where I've had to say to myself is take the fucking emotion out of it. Take the emotion and love for these players and starry-eyed, take that out of it. Realistically, it's are we what at the level that we think we are?
Didn't Durden kick 4 against West Coast?
Yeah, 3 or 4. I think he bumped up his numbers. Motlop had 3 against the Roos.
Yeah, Jesse Motlop.
So yeah, I think on paper, like you say, like we have this emotion behind it that we've got a dual Brownlow medalist. Again, you can't even single him out because the bloke he's killed himself for this club, right? He can't do it on his own. George Hewitt, you know what? You've had a fantastic individual this season. Your best ever, as Kennedy has. It's worked out as a bit of a win-win for sort of both of them individually. Everything else, I'm glad Sherrer's got his body right, but it's the way we're working. It's the way we're running both ways. And that point of difference is why you've got, players like Zach Butters linked and rumours like that happening. I mean, and then the TDK conversation, I mean, there's so many opinions on it. And, last week I sort of, I joked in the group chat, I said the most Carlton thing ever would be if we're not going to do it, but if we match the offer. And then Sauce, Stephen Silvani just says, you know what, fuck you, I'm going to withdraw. I'm going to withdraw this offer. And then we're left holding a 1.7 million contract with no compensation. Would be so Carlton. But I started thinking to myself, right, look, the longer it's going, is he going to sign? I know in 2023 he signed late July, so he left it hanging for a while. Then you think to yourself, do you get the compo pick? Do you trade it? Do you split it and get like 2, maybe 3 decent players with those couple of picks? Some clubs will want to get early into the draft before Tassie comes and make some moves. Obviously, we've got a couple of father-son NGAs in Gresham coming up and a few things like that as well. So maybe the club does something like that. So if I'm Graham Wright, am I going to come in and stamp my authority and say, Tom, go take a walk? You keep getting bathed against elite ruckman. You're not worth that much. Yeah. Lots of thoughts.
It's interesting. There's an interesting comment here from Brandon. Let me try to find it because it made me really think. Where is it here? Good question. Do we blow up the list before Tasmania comes or retool? Tassie's coming and they're coming quick. So, drafts are going to be compromised and things are going to be tough.
Yep.
So I get why we went to the draft last year. They're saying it's a weaker draft this year. It's not going to be like that good. So do we use the picks? I mean, I think we have to go to the draft the year after. I'm pretty sure because we traded for we got Jagger this year. So I think you have to have a first round draft pick. I think every 2 years or every third, something like that.
What?
So yeah,
like it's anything within like a year or two of Tassie is so risky. It's so scary. Like we all sort of set ourselves to think, okay, well, the next few years is going to be the window, because you don't want to be using that R word anywhere near Tassie, which is why I think even like you look at like a Richmond. There you go. Shout out LS.
Yeah, the worst time.
Yeah. So you look at like a Richmond, right? Who have, that might be still languishing possibly down there, but they've loaded up on their future last year. They've gone absolutely ham last year to load up on a core nucleus of players that's going to take them forward the next decade. And LS on the money again. Go back and have a look at the teams who started a rebuild around when Gold Coast and GWS came. See how long it took them to get back to the top. He's right. It's the AFL is going to look after the golden child. Jokes of Nepo baby and whatnot. But Tassie will have its picks. Tassie will have pick of players and things like that as well. So, how we do it, especially maybe even a mini reset or a mini rebuild, is going to be very, very important. List management is going to be absolutely key here. And when you look at our core, our spines, if you look at the spine, you got players in late 20s, approaching 30s, Cripps 30, I think. So now is sort of the next few years is that window, so to speak, or to capitalize. And Andy, you mentioned it recently. I think it's last week, and we were talking about it whilst walking 2 kilometres on the streets of Sydney with Rocco and his son and Mus. What did we do after 2023? Those moves we made then, that was the critical time to pounce to improve the squad.
We did nothing.
And you roll a dice on Elijah Hollins. You don't really make those moves to be a bit ruthless to try and get that next step. Has that cost us potentially? Yep.
We've put ourselves in a position where not many teams would envy where we're at right now. It's quite scary. So yeah.
Couple more. The last two. Is there a leadership void on field when things go against Carlton? And how is the club addressing mental resilience and momentum swing? So I think I mentioned it earlier. Yeah. You go first, Mark.
They're not. That's it. Is there a leadership void? Yes. Are they addressing those issues? No, they're not. If they were, we'd be seeing different results. That's it. We suck.
Yeah, I don't think there's any mental resilience whatsoever. I'm not sure if the club identifies just how mentally weak we are. I'm sure they'd have chats, and I'm sure they'd have open conversations, but whatever they're doing, it's not working. It's not working because we could be up, and then as soon as we concede a lead, it's all over. We actually try really hard to defend a lead, but once that lead's gone, I'm never confident that we can get it back. So, I mean, even as fans, are we mentally fragile as well? Are we, we're cooked as well. I don't trust the team.
And it feels like it was swinging last year. If you recall, the round one or the opening, it was the opening round. We held on against the Lions. Then round one, we held on against Richmond. There were a couple of close calls, and we were getting it done defensively when it mattered. And we were keeping teams at bay. But I think that's the other thing, trust. Like, if you say we don't trust them, do they have that trust in each other now as well? When it comes to the crunch, like you look at, I hate saying Collingwood, but you look at how they handle some of those crunch time situations. And it doesn't even have to be in the fourth quarter. It can be when teams get a run. And for us, the story's just been second halves. After half time, what happens? Someone lacing the oranges. Like, what's going on? After half time, it's just cool capitulation. Yeah. So it's Amal, you said it. How are they addressing it? We've had so many I don't know, documented things, Camp Kerno, different, programs and mentors and people coming into the club and whatnot. I think, like I said, leadership on field, it really hurt losing Newman. I don't think you can replace a player like him in defence, but personnel, you can put players in his position, but that leadership, I think, that he gives. Weeders strikes me as just like a gentle giant, silent assassin that just gets shit done, and he just leads by example rather than vocally. But again, I haven't taken too much notice because I've just been in awe of his defensive efforts. To be honest, he always just gets it, and I feel like some of his teammates let him down. Like he always just has this. This is my patch, and I'll do anything to protect it. And again, I look back at someone like a Bont, and some of those doggies midfielders. If I use them as an example, like how they just get up and get going and bring the teammates forward. And I have that full faith in Cripps, but I don't know. I'm not there. We're not there sort of in those huddles. We're not there at 3/4 time or half time when things are getting spoken about. So we can't really comment on it. It's whatever passes the pub test and what you see, and it just feels like some of the leaders. When you got Charlie, who's he's one of like the vice captains. He's in the leadership group. If your leaders are only playing a half of footy consistently, like doing well for a half, your bottom six, you're only as good as your bottom six. A lot of people say, like your bottom six are going to be like, oh well, 4 quarters isn't led by example. So, yeah.
There's a comment that I saw from Blue Bagger. Leaders should watch Bloodsport starring Van Damme to get inspired. Have you guys watched that?
What a movie.
It's been a long time.
Nice.
We're gonna get copyrighted. How did you get that quick?
Right. I'm super quick.
Good call.
Great
movie. Great movie.
I always get confused between movies, but the one where he shins the tree.
That's Bloodsport.
Bloodsport, yeah. So finished watching that with the old man when I was about 8. And I go to the backyard and I just kicked this tree. I almost snapped my leg. My mum sees me. I tell her what I've done because she sees the blood coming out of my leg. And then I got beaten. So do not try this at home, kids.
Van Damme, man. Van Damme was a hero of mine when I was a kid.
Van Damme.
Universal Soldier was an absolute
Street Fighter, Universal Soldier,
Kickboxer. Bloke was a menace.
They don't make them like that anymore,
I used to be so scared of Tong Po. Remember Tong Po?
Yes. Oh, with the massive pecs.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, bro.
Scary.
They don't make movies the same, man.
No. Tong Po was the
which one?
Massive the bald guy, but he had the massive thing, ponytail.
Can't remember.
Animal. The guy from Bloodsport was the other one. The one whose pecs always moved.
Yeah. I know the one you're talking about. I know the guy you're talking about. I've just seen it. It was a menace.
Van Damme and Jet Li movies, man. As a kid and as a teenager, just next level.
Yeah.
We've gone from leadership on field to Van Damme and
Van Damme movies.
Shout out LS. Thank you for the donation. Thank you for the donation, mate. The best thing that ever happened to Brisbane was recruiting Luke Hodge. Bugger all leadership in that team until he came along. Is Hodge available?
Is a Hodge available?
That's like, I think it was.
What's Pendle's doing next year?
Was slumping. Well, this is the thing. Like, there's been rumors of like a Bartel and things like that as well. You're right. Having Hodge in the back line, and even like a Sam Mitchell to West Coast sort of thing. Having these types around the club, and what it instills. And you look at, I was hearing what Greg Swan, CEO of Brisbane, was talking about, saying, because he left, he went Collingwood to Carlton, he went to Brizzy, he's been poached by the AFL. And he's saying, we all our decisions, our recruitment, our drive, it's all about being one of the best teams, to be one of the best playing teams in AFL, and also a team that people want to come and play for. So at all levels, AFLW in grand finals, being grand finals, the AFL team making and winning a grand final. And it's some of those decisions that you make that take you to that level. So good call. Blue Bag is a big fan
as well. Bloodsport all the way.
Yeah.
Quality movie.
Right.
I think I cried when when he gets the dust in his eyes as well. He's like,
yes, and he starts doing like these ones. What a movie, bro!
Excellent stuff.
What a movie!
Excellent stuff.
Hey, there's a sick Van Damme movie. Speaking of, sorry, I got to get this off my chest. It's super underrated. It's called In Hell, and he's locked up, and it's just a brilliant movie, just brilliant, masterpiece.
2003, apparently.
Yeah. It's like a newer kind of Van Damme one. He was yeah.
That era of the 90s, right? Like, Van Damme, Jet Li, Seagal, Arnie, Stallone,
Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal has an album, actual music.
Isn't it like Jamaican? Does Jamaican
he sings in a Jamaican accent. Bro, when I first found out, I didn't believe it. But go to Spotify or wherever you listen to music and type in Steven Seagal and listen to his album after the show, of course.
Oh, right.
But it is, it's not good.
Rude boy.
Yeah. Remember Double Team with Dennis Rodman? The bloke was good, bro. Van Damme.
Yeah. Yep.
Far out. He had movies, man.
I reckon we can do the rest of the night about 90s action movies and stuff.
Time
like that,
Cop.
honestly.
Time Cop.
Seagal
Sudden
is the
Death.
greatest blues musician of all time.
There you go, Scotty. Oh, man.
Time. Hey, like, how good was it? Honestly, like, only a bit of a throwback here, but just the local block, 7 weeks, $10. Jesse Martin will be releasing Jamaican albums this time next year. Oh god, how good was it going to go on?
Like, doesn't this conversation so accurately depict Carlton supporters at the moment? Like, investing in Carlton, then what? We're just like, fuck this. Like, what are we doing? Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about Van Damme. Like, we've moved away because there's no at the moment, right? There's no joy, there's no happiness in supporting this club. None. It's misery, it's pain, it's anxiety, it's hard watching. Watching. And it's gotten to the point where, the battery reserves for watching this team have depleted. And we can't go through that anymore. You bleed like Mikey.
Shout out to Morris. Been quite unwell recently, but he's doing a bit better. So good to hear, Morris. I'll give you a call tomorrow. I missed your call earlier, mate. I'm sorry.
Hope you're doing well, Morris. It's just 3 rounds a loss, 4 rounds. We're 0-4, and the batteries are gone, and then you start drudging up some really bad performances. And man, I genuinely wonder how many other supporters feel like us at the moment, where we're just like, I'm starting to really question whether it's worth my time.
Well, apparently there's 119 of them that also think like us as well. So shout out to you guys in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hit the like button if you haven't done so.
Yeah, hit the like button, guys.
Yeah. Last one for the day before we start to wrap up. What tactical or personnel changes could Carlton realistically make in the second half of the season to reignite their finals hope? So not looking too far ahead to the trade period and draft, but what magnets would you move?
Sack Voss.
Just goes bang.
Sack Voss. Drop Jesse.
Would that reignite the finals hopes?
I don't know about finals. I don't think we should be even thinking about finals, but you gotta almost approach it now like it's a fresh season and try to win as every game pretty much.
I feel like I'm going to look at this from two different lenses. Yeah, if I'm Voss in the selection committee, I'm going A, put everyone back in their natural positions. Paulo runs like to go. Put everyone back in their natural positions, and just fucking drop Motlop. That's two things that I would do if I was Voss straight away. Second, if I was Graham Wright and I'm coming in as the CEO of the club, the first thing that I'd be doing to absolutely everyone in the football department, players and staff alike, is saying each and every one of you is at risk of your position at the football club.
Well
From
said.
now until the end of the season, and I have absolutely all faith and confidence that Graham Wright will come in whenever it is that he takes over, whether it's in July or whether it's in the end of the season, that he will at some point say this to absolutely everyone. You are at risk. Show me you're worth staying at this football club.
You know what's funny? So I wholeheartedly agree with you. I felt like we said the same thing when Cook came in, and I think the Carlton board slowly took that kind of see you next Tuesday out of him. You know, no hard decisions have really been made under Cook. The hardest decision was getting rid of Matt Kennedy. And even then, it was probably an easy decision for the club. But, I mean, there wasn't much blowback from the fans, to say, like, well, that was the only one where there was a little bit of blowback. So I'm with you 100%. I think the board will eventually... But the board knows what they're doing bringing in Graham Wright. They're not going to bring in someone they can't control. This board is self-indulging, and they will only hire those who they feel like they can kind of steer to make their decisions, do their bidding. So that's my concern. I hope he comes in and just, heads start to roll, and they might early. They definitely might early. But yeah, will that sustain? That's the question for me.
It's got a bit of this Grim Reaper aura about him the last couple of weeks in the media that he's going to come in and I don't know. I've got the audio fix for it. Where's being purple when you need it? Well, this is the thing, right? We've started to see a few things last week shift in the club when we talked about. The board's been well spoken about, but some things like the promotions, the Carlton shop promotions and things like that, releasing special memberships for Carlton Essence and like really trying to commercially push things. And I think I don't recall them going as hard the last couple of years because commercial revenue was most likely at an all-time high, right? They didn't really have to advertise. There was a waiting list for memberships. The shop was going off. Merch was going off. And we know we all follow the club sort of religiously. When we started seeing, promos for merch, $10 tickets, and for 30% off this, and get a membership and get 3 free games here. So they're really, I think they're really trying, and I think that maybe be interesting to see the balance sheet and the P&L statement. I reckon some revenue might be drying up. I feel like they might be drying up. I mean, like I've just been now, stop giving money to the club at the moment. Like we stopped buying this fucking raffle ticket to the Legends Lounge. But we in general, like they get our memberships, which is a significant yearly output. It's hard to justify keep putting money in and in and in and in. So I feel like there might be a bit of revenue drying up on their end, and they're just trying to save face where possible. But yeah, like you said, Andy, the board I feel like is just a group that you have to align to these their views, and they've been hiring a lot of yes people.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Lord.
Execute Order 66.
I'll tell you what, right? We saw him at
Sydney.
Sydney. We saw him at the rail, the light rail, whatever they call it. him and Cook looked like he wanted to be anywhere but near us, right? Cook looked at us like, fuck these guys, right? Because Andy is like, we're going to King's Cross, and Cook's just looking at us like, get me the fuck away from these guys. And Graham Wright looks like a bloke that just, don't mess with him. But yeah, the energy they were giving off was just, stay away, guys. Yeah, interested to see what, and this is what he'll be judged is, you talk about tough decisions, Andy. Let's see what happens at the end of this season, and a lot's been made about it. We'll see in a few months. But in terms of actual personnel changes, I think from now to the second half, like you said, Ollie back in his position, wouldn't mind seeing him on the wing, get Chincotta back to halfback. I don't really think it's a lot of positional changes. We saw in the stats, fix up the inside 50s and the scoring accuracy. Get into positions where you're going to have more high percentage shots and get the ball more cleanly into 50. Put the ball in the hands of those who deliver it well inside 50. Get Sard running in straight lines, not sideways and just hoofing it on his left.
Mm-hmm.
High percentage disposals. I think we're sitting at 70% disposal efficiency, which is 18th in the league. So fix that. What have you found here? Carlton, I like to shout out Enzo. Carlton, I like the Titanic. They hit the iceberg. They're sinking fast. But the ones we want to try and keep jumping on the lifeboats and getting safe. I should have read it first. That
is fantastic on you, Enzo.
Enzo.
That is great. Well, it's, part 2 now. It's part 2 of the season. Where do you boys and chat? Where do you boys expect us to finish from here?
Well, expectations for the end of the season. We'll park that for 1 second. Here's just off Enzo's last comment.
Here we go.
Oh no.
Here is the first half of the season in song.
There you are, Omar, with the rapid fire audio clips. Yeah, well done.
You know what's funny? Whenever he's downloading them, right? You just see Omar. He doesn't say a word, but he's got this little grin on his face, like he's working on something. Something diabolical is happening. We are so cooked. So yeah, where does everyone think we'll finish? I'm on a ladder position.
Would be. Can we go on another dream run? I don't know. I've lost all faith in this coaching group and this playing group at the moment. And I'm at the stage where I feel like it needs a massive overhaul. And yes, I'm the savior. Is not coming from someone within the playing group at the moment, like it has in the past couple of seasons, whether it might be Cripps or whether it might be Charlie Kerner. We have now turned our attention to Graham Wright. All hell Graham Wright. Let's see what he can do by the end of the season. I don't think we make the 8, and I think that's wholeheartedly deserved.
Georgie?
This is a hard one because I think, I was talking to you yesterday, Andy, about going on a bit of a run now, Essendon, West Coast, North, and I think how dare I even have the audacity and think that we're going to do that based on recent results. I think we might languish on the outskirts of the 8. And that's based on what hit me like a ton of bricks was the other day realizing we've, at this point of the season, halfway through the season, we've won one more game than Richmond, which is disgusting. And not taking anything away from Richmond, who were not going to win a game this year. We've won one more game than Richmond.
Yeah, it's disgusting. And just reading this comment from J-Bag as we'll finish with Voss stating they can't wait to get after in the preseason. It makes the blood pressure rise.
Because you can see it. You can
Yes.
actually hear it. I can hear it.
Yeah. With that Voss kind of tone and language,
Mm.
we're not
We'll get to work.
happy. We're not happy.
We had our moments.
We're not happy. But we'll certainly get after it in the preseason. That's for sure.
But this is the thing. Like, all right, Essendon. Let's say we beat Essendon, we beat West Coast, we beat North again. And I'm using there's not a pinch of salt. There's a whole heap of salt there, right? Because if you recall, and as we all do, about 2 years ago, and it was probably the making of our channel, the Carlton Essendon game, we went in stronger favourites than we are for this Sunday.
We're paying $1.44.
I don't understand why.
And from memory, we were the Bombers have been decimated. They've been absolutely fucking decimated. Their squad. Some more recorder noises there. I heard.
I heard a recorder. I don't know. Miles up to something.
So the fact that we were stronger favourites from memory going into the game in 2023, and we had our pants pulled down at our home game, and they've gone and this is the thing, they've gone and done the bobbleheads again. It's like they're setting it up. It's like they're fucking setting it up. And right here, Scotty knows.
Scotty.
Herbert trying to bid origin story. I think that's what blew us up. Because I remember just sitting there thinking, boys, why the hell did we gain 100 subscribers? Where does this come from? And then we realized.
And 5,000 views. What the heck?
Yeah.
I think that video has like 10,000 views on it, which is fucking massive for us.
It's wild. It's wild. But this is the thing, right? The Bombers, you can't go into that game thinking it's automatic, right? They're decimated, right? But it's the Bombers, and they're going up against us, and they'd love nothing more. Well, we are the two banter sides at the moment.
See, I don't think Essendon's banter at the moment. I think they're playing some okay footy.
I agree.
Considering how decimated they are, they took it right up to Brisbane. Yep. And the only thing that I felt like stopped them from winning was in the last quarter, they played like Carlton going forward. They just bombed it long. And they got the exact same results we did. So I felt like if they played cleaner in that last quarter, they probably win. So I don't know. I'm not off Essendon totally. I think they'll get us. Genuinely.
Just slightly. It'll be disaster. Like, just thinking about it, I understand it's not automatic by any means, but if we again cannot get up for a big rival after a bye, they're decimated. Let's be real, their stocks are decimated at the moment, right? If you can't get up for that game, you don't deserve to play finals.
Yep.
And it doesn't matter if we come out after that and smack West Coast, smack North. Means fuck all. Pack it in. Again, but to answer your question, when I looked at the ladder and saw that halfway through the season we're one win in front of Richmond at this point of the season, no, I don't think we'll make the 8, which is devastating, right? Because a few years of finals and getting that taste, and then just get a nice whack to the face. So, 9th, 10th, combo
there. Well, I've got us. I still have us finishing 13th.
Based on the predictor.
But I'm backing the predictor I did at the start of the year, and to be honest, I had us one win ahead at this time. Wow. I had us beating Richmond. So I had us losing to Geelong, but also had us winning another game. I can't remember which one. So it evened out there. But I had us beating Richmond. I think we're trash. I think the entire football club is trash at the moment. I got no respect for anything about the Carlton Football Club at the moment. I don't like the way they're going about things. I don't like the way they're giving out fucking bobbleheads. I don't like the way they're like really pushing. Oh, if you come down to open training and you spend X amount of money, we'll give you this percent off. And if you spend this much, you spend that much. You get that percent off. Fuck off. Win a game, bro. Win games. I don't want a blue out jersey. Like I want a Guernsey, bro. Stop cash grabbing your supporters. You know, that's all they're doing. And every club does it. I get it. But read the room. Read the fucking room. Just people want wins. And you know what I love? When they announced the blue out Guernsey, I was reading the comments on Instagram, and Carlton, you have blocked me from commenting on your stuff. I don't know why, but you have. Anyway, people in the comments were just tearing the club up, and I love that. I love that people aren't getting sucked in anymore, you know? It's like, yes, the blue out Guernsey is nice, but you blew out the season. You blew us out of the 8. You blew our chances. I love comments like that. Hold the football club accountable, and the poor media kid on the other end of it is probably like, bro, I got nothing to do with it. But people at the club need to feel uncomfortable. You know, it's the only way to get things done. Just make them uncomfortable. You don't have to abuse people. You don't have to, go out of your way and be, over the top. Just make them uncomfortable. Don't get them too comfortable with taking your money. At the end of the day, the bottom line is everything they care about. And if you affect their bottom line, they will take notice.
So that's a good call. It's true. And for too long, we've been commercially very strong, which is absolutely a great position to be. But if you're treating your hardcore supporters with contempt, and that I still believe that Carlton treats its core supporter base with contempt. A lot of the decisions that it's made, and the people that expect more, that want more, that demand more, that are voicing concerns in reasonable ways are shunned out. They're not heard. They're drowned out, whether it be whatever it might be, AGMs, forums, comments, things like that as well. Not wanting to hear that noise. On your Carl. Hey,
shout out Carl in the chat.
Are you going to have that car park again, Carl? Because if that's the case, that will be fantastic, and we'll see Johnny Holden in the line again.
I am. I don't even want a bobblehead. I don't want it. If I get one, I'll break it, and I'll break it on live stream. If I get one, I'm telling you, I'm breaking it on live stream. I don't want it. I don't want nothing from this club anymore. I don't know if you saw Doss's comment earlier, but I'm done. I'm selling my cards, Carlton cards. I'm done.
I told him, and he was devastated. I told him, Andy's starting to look. He's like, don't. So guys, just quietly, Andy messaged me the other day and said, George, and so we obviously collect footy cards, a lot of footy cards. And Andy's like, George, I want you to let me know how I can offload my Carlton card collection. And a part of me actually died inside. Like, a part of me actually died inside. That I know how much he loves that cardboard, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
I'm done. And he's literally, I'm out. I'm done, right? So
yep, no more.
No
more.
The club.
As supporters. Sorry, George, go.
No. I was going to say that the tone deafness of the club doing it against Essendon, right? Again, the reason why I say that is, why don't you do it against GWS at Marvel? The majority of Carlton fans, if you're going to have bobblehead, all well and good, right? Do it against GWS when there's fucking 15 GWS fans in the stadium. You've got all Carlton fans coming to the game. You got your members. You can actually have members getting the bobblehead for kids, mainly for kids. Well, I'll talk about kids. I'm looking at 3 of them here. Anyway, but you can do it against the Bombers. The Bombers fans are licking their lips at the eBay profits that are incoming, right? Because there's going to be a lot of fans that can't get to the game in time. And Bombers fans are going to clean up because, scan the QR code, the Hyundai QR code, and get your bobblehead. The amount of Bombers fans that were in the queue 2 years ago and got them, and the amount of Hawks fans that were in the queue last year for Ange Christou and Adam Sideones and got them, and flogging them off on eBay to Carlton fans who have that FOMO.
Hey, I'm just sorry, Amal. I apologize, but I'm fucking dying. Bro, I'm fucking dying. I'm dying. That is fantastic.
How did I'm just interested to know how he knows I'm wearing a skirt.
Fantastic.
Carry on, Amal.
No, I think us as supporters, I don't think we truly understand how much power we actually have as members, as fully fledged, paid off, whatever you want to say, members. We can actually, I mean, without going into it too far, we can do a lot. We've got a fair following now, I would say. Not bigger than some of the other channels, but big enough. I'm sure that if we really wanted to, make a change, we could. That's all I'm saying. We're not as powerless as what we're led to believe. As a collective.
I'm with you, bro. I'm in. What do you want to do? I'm in. You tell me, bro. I'm fucking in. I hate this football club at the moment.
Someone get
They've caused
Justin
me
Curry.
nothing but misery.
Someone get Justin Curry on the line right now.
Justin, where are you, bro? We
Justin,
need you.
this is your
Justin,
domain.
we're taking our club back. Hey, Justin has a new series where he's replying to a Carlton story every day and he's just abusing them. He's like, day 4 until they reply. He's just hurling abuse. We're taking back our club. This isn't your club.
So I'm gonna share this comment from Scotty because he's bang on the money here. It's not a transactional relationship we have. We have the same rights as the board, and it's the great equalizer, and it's our right. And he's not wrong. He's definitely not wrong.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
What we can do.
I'm excited for what we can do, Amal. I'm excited. Whatever you want, bro. I'm in. I don't know. I'm down. Whatever. I'm over this football club. I'm over the bullshit they spin. Bro, these blokes, we get smashed by GWS. They have the audacity to auction off their Indigenous Guernseys. And it done my head in, bro.
Nah. What for?
And you know what the best part is?
You can buy for 30% off.
They were no match worn. I think they were match worn ones, right?
I'll wear them at my match and sell them.
Bro, listen to this. Listen to this. But they're auctioning off players' Guernseys that didn't even play, but they've got them up for like $300 or whatever. It's like, hang on, he didn't play. So I don't know, man.
That's ridiculous. Let's see what the club does over the next, couple of weeks and months and towards the end of the year. And if nothing changes, well, I've lost all faith in the administration of the club.
I've already lost faith. I'll tell you what, Scotty Tompkins, you could be our legal advisor. What do you reckon? Hey,
Scotty
legit, Scotty is an absolute legend, right? He's a funny guy, one of the funniest blokes I've ever met. But in all seriousness, he's also one of the absolute smartest. He's very, very switched on. So I'll be taking, what he says very, very seriously.
And this is Enzo on the money as well. Pardon the pun, but the only way the club will listen is if it hurts their pockets. They don't care about our supporters, members. We are just dollar signs, and that's it. And you notice a couple of the moves that they make, financially, some decisions what they do to try and entice. I remember, we go into the Legends Lounge rooms and you raffle tickets or whatnot. Do you remember after the loss against Richmond? I think our next home game was at Hawks or Doggies.
Hawks.
And then we went up, we walked in and they usually see us buying raffles and they're like, oh, and we're like, nah, not fucking today. No money to you guys today. They're like, oh, no. We're giving like a free one for free, right? So instantly, right, there's signs of reading the room. Amal's in deep prayer at the moment. So like, but there's signs that they are in the room and they know what's happening and they're making, trying to appease some supporters here and there. But at the end of the day, it's a dollar sign to them, man. Even with his bobblehead thing, right? Hyundai's, they're getting, sponsor funded stuff. They don't give a shit, right? They don't actually care about their members. If they are member first, like, you know what? All respect to Richmond, right? Richmond, have, and I speak to a lot of Richmond members, and I reckon they have probably the most real number when it comes to core supporter bases, membership numbers, because we overinflate ours with that much crap. You know, free membership this, 3-game membership that, guest pass membership this, Auskick membership that. There's Mus. There he is.
Couldn't stand Carl getting the attention. He had to jump on. He wasn't happy. On your Mus. Love you, mate.
Just to give you an idea of how much
Here we go.
the
Here we
boards
go.
circumvent. Yeah. Let me tell you something. The board has the power to bring on casual board members as long as it doesn't exceed the number of 8, right? Casually for a maximum period of 12 months. The last 2 board members that were brought on without any sort of election and any sort of member feedback period or anything like that. Anything that you would normally see in a sporting organization, and were brought on unchallenged. So they were brought on casually first before the AGM, probably about a month out from the AGM. They nominated themselves for board positions, and they were selected based off the fact that no one else challenged them. They were brought onto the board casually because the board have allowed themselves the power to do so in the Constitution.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's rife. It's rife at the club.
insane.
It's right. Like we've both been in the corporate world for long enough. Like, let's be real, nepotism, stuff like that. It's absolutely rife, right? Like if you're in those circles, if you're up at the top and whatnot, it happens. There's a lot of stuff I've seen over the years, and at football clubs that if you're in these circles or in these books, and it seems like the club just wants, as you boys just mentioned it, people that, if you don't sign up to our view, if you don't say what we want you to say, if you don't think how we want you to think, you won't be there.
Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. Justin.
There he is.
Justin, I messaged Justin. I just messaged him. I jump on our stream right now. Justin, in case you missed it, bro, we're going to overthrow the board. We're taking our club back, as you say.
Kamal just added 3 pitchforks to cart. He's we're going to Bunnings.
Oh, jeez.
Justin is number 1, mate. He wants his club back, and I think we can help him get it back.
Hey, what would be great? We somehow go, you overthrow the board. We're all in there, like, all right, boys, what do we do now? What do we do now?
Oh man!
Bit of a watch this space. Let's just see what happens over the next.
Miles cooking just quietly. Yeah, yeah.
This is he's not even joking. Shout out Andy Carlton. He's not even lying.
Really?
Justin, you legend.
Blue Bag are just not missing there. We should clothesline the board. Just go in there and just drop some RKOs, I reckon. Yeah.
And his name is John C.
Justin he's on one.
We'll see you there on Sunday. I'm telling you, if I start seeing a handful of Essendon fans in the Legends Lounge again, there's nothing that irks. It irks the shit out of me, right? It's a Carlton home game, and I understand it's Australia. We're not in England, and it's not like United Liverpool, United City, where no away fans allowed. But come on, man, at least give the fucking illusion like you give a shit about your members.
Yeah,
give the illusion that it's a Carlton Legends Lounge. Yet seemingly every game there's like Collingwood scarves there, Essendon scarves there. It's disgusting.
I ask why can't we be like the EPL where home and away fans are literally separate? Why not?
Don't get me wrong. We're not saying incite riots and things like
yes,
that.
Yes, we are. I am.
I wouldn't mind a riot or two.
Just a cheek. Hey, we'll get done for incitement, bro. We can't even joke. Please, Rocco Mono is coming from Perth. Rocco, please do not riot. Please, mate. And if you do, blame Amal, not me. Please, I got work on Monday. Please.
Just it's giving the illusion that you know, it is our home game, right? When it's your home game, and then you go in and you see, and you know, it's the Collingwood and Essendon games that kill me. Like you see Pie fans in there, you know, and you know, Carlton legends and all that kind of stuff. And I get it. Like, I understand, right? Again, it's for the money. As long as you pay, who gives a shit? That's the club's motto. As long as they're getting the money. But it should just be. It should give the illusion that you care about your members.
It's like our situation.
Honestly,
it's like our legend situation with the Collingwood supporter behind us that does our head in every single
the
game.
old lady.
Yeah.
Just quietly, like us, we've got what? There's 7 of us signed up to Legends Lounge, right? So just, you know, 7.5, $8,000 a year or whatnot. That we go, and you know, they call you at the end of the year. Are you going to order a new? No, you know what? Maybe I don't, right? And then they start scrambling, right? Because I look at that. Previous years they've had waiting periods and things like that, but I feel like that times have changed a little bit now, right? So
He's here. The man's here.
I've got to wait. My day, please.
We gave you a shout out before, mate. Hey, his Dockers are doing
There
well.
he is. On your
That was
bench,
a good
purple
win.
and green.
Good win against the Suns on Sunday.
I was hustling the audio clips for you. I thought I'd done well. I was trying to impress you there, so you missed it. You may have to rewind about an hour. But
Only Carlton, we sit behind the goals, level 2, right, just above the cheer squad. So if you're around there, mate, let us know.
Yep.
Anyone, if you're around us, just come see us, man. Come say hi. Let's just disrespect the club together, you know? Just go hard.
Bring some food too. No, this is good. This is good. Coming back into, you know, another round of footy. It's good to be back in the right mindset for a Carlton supporter.
Uncle Sam, that was an away game, that one. I took Uncle Sam came with us to Carlton Collingwood. That was an away game, so she wasn't behind us. But if you ever come to a home game, you'll see her, and I'm pretty sure if you stand up at any time, she will tug on your shirt. So, yeah. Don't worry, boys. I know where the presidential function room is.
Justin is on a warpath.
Good general.
Yeah, good. You know, like I said, there's almost 140, 150 like-minded individuals in the chat. Big thank you to you guys. Hit the like button, and big thank you to our sponsors. Honestly, our chat and our sponsors. Globalnet, Naz is in the chat. Shout out to you, Naz. Globalnet Solutions Australia, Mercadante. Keep an eye out Thursday night. No, sorry, not Thursday night. We'll talk about it on Thursday night. But Saturday, we play Sunday night. So Saturday night, the giveaway will open for the $100 Mercadante weekly voucher. Elite Plastering Group, Cami Projects, YPA Zak Nasser, RAZ Homes, Bottle Pascaval, and Damo Finance. Absolutely blessed to have all your backing as well.
LS, absolutely. Come say hi to us, mate. Absolutely.
Blue Beggar, thank you. You guys do an awesome job with this channel.
Appreciate that.
It's good to hear that. It is. Because sometimes coming on here without a word of a lie can be difficult, especially with the way Carlton's going at the moment. So this channel and you guys in the chat make it worthwhile.
Shout out, Justin. Yeah. George already.
I'll tell you what, Justin. If we lose, if we lose, I'm breaking that hoodoo.
Bro, I reckon just do it anyway. Who cares?
Do it anyway.
Just drink, bro. I'll have a drink with you on Sunday night, Georgie. I'm having a drink with you. If you're not drinking, I'm drinking.
I literally during the Richmond game, I think I said it before, round 1, I almost did. I think at quarter time, like, mate, it's Richmond. Come on. And then after the final sign, I was like, should have done it anyway. But yeah, you know what? Justin, I'm with you, man. Fuck it. This club's already, given us enough to depress about. At least I can enjoy cold on the footy.
Absolutely. All right, gents. Well, it's been a pleasure.
The comments are fantastic.
The comments are great.
I love our chat, man. I love our chat so much.
It's good. It's really good. Now, preview. Will that be Thursday or Friday? I'm assuming teams will come out Friday night, won't they?
I won't be able to do Friday. So if
Oh,
you
we,
guys
we
are doing
probably
Friday-
do. We probably do Thursday as usual.
Yeah,
and
just
then we
Thursday. If there's no teams, maybe we can do it on Wednesday. If there's going to be no teams anyway, maybe we'll
Stay
do it
tuned.
Wednesday.
stay
Yeah,
tuned.
we'll work it out. Watch our socials.
Yeah.
If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell icon too. That
Get
way
us
you
to
get
2,000.
notifications.
Get us to 2,000.
Yeah, we're almost on 2,000, aren't we?
Thursday night, we
fun.
planned how to take our club back.
That's what I've been waiting for, Justin. We take our club back.
Oh,
Um,
God.
Yeah, make sure you hit the bell icon as well to get notified when we're uploading shows and all that, so you're not guessing. We are pretty unpredictable sometimes, so yeah, we're not as organized as some of the other boys from the other channels, and we're pretty like we never have any idea. We do no planning. Like today with the questions was the most planning I think we've ever done. So, and that was just a quick sesh. So.
But the beauty of it is literally our chat, right? It makes some the best decision was going live because not only getting to get names in the chat, names to faces when we're meeting you guys, but just quality conversation. So that's I guess that's what makes us unique.
Absolutely. And with that, gents, it is sayonara from the Monday Blues.
Sicky no.
I had to drop it in. Jack.